All right, welcome back to the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. I'm Rich Walsh, back from vacation, taking your phone calls tonight, 412-575-2600 on the Borders and Borders hotline. If you need a roof, make sure you call Ireland Contracting. They're the best in the business. They not only do roofs, they do windows, gutters, siding, anything you need, any contracting you need. Make sure you call 1-800-NEW-ROOF, Ireland Contracting. Right now, I think I might put a sunroof on, a sunroom, not a roof. I'm going to call Ireland Contracting, 1-800-NEW-ROOF. That's definitely for sure. They're #1 in Pittsburgh. Give them a call. Give me a call right now. Borders to Borders hotline, 412-575-2600. We're going to go out to the phone lines right now. We got Bob out in Indiana. Give us a take, Bob.
Yes. If you can just give me a little leeway here, Rich, to make a point. The attendance is down, but the viewership on TV is up. And that's because, as far as I feel, is the fans support the team, but they're not going to the games because they don't support the ownership. And when you talk about, trading Marte or Vasquez for a good return, the problem is, as a fan, you see it constantly where they get a good player, they have him for a couple of years, and then he prices himself out of their team, so they get rid of him and dump the salary to get a younger player that can come up, hopefully, to be good, to, again, can't afford a salary and get rid of it. It's just a repetitious cycle. And as a fan, you get frustrated that you keep hearing the same old stuff that we can't, we want to build a good team, but when they build it, they can't keep it because they can't afford it. And where does it end? Yeah,
it's definitely repetitive, and it ends with the ownership. That's what happens, How about the Pirates? I talk a little bit about a salary cap all the time, but the Pirates, they have opportunities to vote against CBAs, and they didn't because they want the $50 million paycheck that you get in revenue sharing. And you ask Bob Nutting these questions, and he'll spin it to, this is best for baseball. It's not best for baseball. There's like 8 teams that are competing right now, and the Pirates aren't one of them. So you basically lose all these people that aren't paying attention to the Pirates. I've talked to so many guys like you, Bob. Everywhere I go, they tell me, I'm not going to the ballpark. I'm not supporting this team. I'll watch them on TV because you grew up as a fan, but you're not going to go and support them at the ballpark. And I understand. The only way this ends for the Buccos is if you have some kind of salary cap, salary floor. That's what they need to be competitive, and that's what you need in baseball to keep things like the NFL, NHL, NBA, all of them. I think if Major League Baseball doesn't rectify this situation here in the next 10 years, they're going to find themselves in some big trouble because you basically will have about 8 teams that have a shot to win it every year, and then every once in a while you'll see a team like the Royals or the Brewers, but they can't stay competitive for too long. That's why it's so frustrating being a fan of a smaller market team. I don't care what they say over there, what the ownership says. It all comes from ownership. I don't care what they say, but the numbers tell the story. They have the 4th lowest payroll. They're $50 million under the league average. Come on. How can you be competitive? You can't. You got to keep some of these guys. But the only way you get better right now is if you trade them. So it's a catch-22.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, it's never going to change because the owners are going to just vote for
it's never going to change.
Money.
But the only way ownership changes is if fans are starting to do, fans make noise and, not show up, eventually he's going to be forced to sell or no one's going to ever go there. That's the only way you change ownership. The fans could speak, and I think they are right now by not going to games. And if they continue to do that, maybe something will change here in the future. I think that's the only way.
Yep.
All right, thanks a lot, Bob. I appreciate it. Let's go out to Ken in Clearfield. How you doing, Ken?
Hey, how you doing, Rich? How you doing?
Good. Thanks for calling.
What a great game today. It was a great comeback, but it didn't have to be that bad. When you got the bases loaded in the top of the 9th inning, and Stephen Brault is a left-hand or 8th inning. I'm sorry. Stephen Brault's a left-hand pitcher. He could have pitched to Phillips and got him out. That score would have still been 2-2. And Clint Hurdle, I don't know what he's thinking. Musgrove threw 106 pitches.
Yeah.
It's 95 degrees in humidity. And he took Ty Hunt out against the Phillies 2 weeks ago. He threw 70 pitches. Give me a break.
Well, yeah, you can question the Musgrove, and you can also question Tanner Anderson. Those are 2 questions that every fan has for Clint Hurdle. Thanks a lot for your call, Ken. I appreciate it. And Yeah, but he said, I mean, you listen to Clint Hurdle's post-game remarks, and he talks about, you know, he thought it was the right move keeping Musgrove in there. People can second-guess them. Obviously, the Pirates won, and when you look at it 2 weeks from now, you just see the W. You don't realize what happened in the game, but they could have lost this game, and they probably should have lost this game. It's 5-2. The Buccos come back, and they tie it up, and then Tanner Anderson gives another run-up, and then they have to come back again. And luckily, it was raining, because that's why the Milwaukee catcher probably couldn't see the ball, or you know, it was the conditions. I mean, Colin Moran would have been out by a mile. It wouldn't even have been close. But the catcher couldn't handle it. Pirates go on to win. Hey, it's a good win. A win's a win, right? But yeah, there's some things you can question. I mean, I know we talked a little bit about this on the nightly on the showdown coming up tonight. Who do you blame right now for the Buccos? Ownership, front office, Hurdle. I think they all have something. I put most of the blame on ownership because he's not giving these guys the pieces to work with. I mean, at least if you were in the middle of the pack in the majors, you'd be much more competitive. That's $50 million. Imagine what you could get for $50 million. You definitely could get 2 more starting pitchers, maybe some bullpen help, maybe you know, a first baseman that can hit home runs. I don't know. I do like Josh Bell, and I think he's just in a sophomore slump. I'm not giving up on that guy yet, but you need power hitters at the corners, and you know, right now they don't have that. All right, back out to the phone lines. We're going to go out to let's go out to Clint now too. Now, how you doing, Clint?
How you doing tonight?
Good, thanks for calling.
Yeah, I want to ask a couple questions of today's game. I agree 100% with what you're saying. I mean, I don't know. I guess it comes from the top, but they sent Austin Meadows down and brought Tanner Anderson up, and I don't think he's the answer for anything.
No.
And I do disagree at one point about the trading block and everything with Vasquez. If you get rid of him, it's like, what are you going to get back? Number one, number two, you're going to be stuck with who's going to be closer. I know Kyle Crick's been doing a great job as a setup in the 8th inning.
Yeah.
But, you know, is he going to be the 9th inning guy or not? And I don't trust really the rest of that bullpen at all. And also, real quick, at the end of the game, whenever that is pretty much a quagmire coming down there all of a sudden, did it look like Craig Counsell wanted the ump to call that game at that
Yeah,
point?
it did. You know, I didn't hear his post-game comments, but I'm surprised he didn't make a fuss out of it or anything. And, yeah, I mean, but there was, what, 1 out? I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, he made a pitching change, too. Mm-hmm. And the Rangers, so they continue to play. You're getting 1 out, so you're going to try to get that 1 out. Unfortunately, it backfired for the Brewers.
Yeah, I mean, I either way, I like the problem because, I mean, there's 4 days off.
Yeah.
But then you never know how long the rain lasted. Plus, I mean, when the Pirates were going up there, they weren't wasting any time. They were just, you know, swinging at the first pitch and then ended up working out, you know, with Bell. And did it seem like that Kane misplayed that ball in center field?
Well, yeah, I was thinking about that, too. Maybe he was playing up a little bit. It got over his head. But I think the rain, I mean, think about what the rain does to your eyes. And I'm surprised that the batters could actually see the ball. Yeah. But, you know, I played a little bit of baseball growing up and never played in a downpour. I can't remember playing like that. But it definitely would affect your judgment for sure. If you're playing in the outfield. And maybe that was the case right there because you would think a good center fielder could make that catch or be in that position to have a better opportunity to make that catch. But, hey, it was a good win for the Pirates. You know, and to talk about the point you made about trading Vasquez, you're giving up on the season if you're trading Vasquez, basically. So I wouldn't worry about this season. You got to worry about next year and who your closer would be. And maybe you could move Crick up next year. I mean, if you're trading Vasquez and you're getting a boatload back, maybe you have a future closer in that deal, a AAA guy or something. So, you know, that's where you're going to get your money. That's where you're going to get some guys is trading a guy like that, especially because they have control over a guy like that at a really, really, really good price. All right, time to take a break. Back with more of your phone calls plus the sizzling shots we got coming up next. Stay right there.